name is Alanis King, and this right here is a 2019 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. It is lizard green on the outside, lizard green on the inside, and it blows my little lizard brain. This car looks like a toy, but in fact, it's got 520 horsepower and a red line of 9,000 RPM. It is one of the most expensive and impressive factory 911s you can buy, and today we're gonna learn exactly what that gets you. But first, if you like 911s and you like when they look like tree frogs, this car is now available on Cars and Bids. If you want to check out more photos, optional features, or maybe even bid on it, you can check out the link in the description of this video. Now, the 911 is known by a lot of people, including me, as a pretty perfect sports car. And that's almost a disservice to the 911 itself, because you'll hear people say, you know, I want a sports car, I want a 911, but it feels like the thing that everybody buys. It feels like, you know, the easy choice. And to me, I always say, it's the easy choice for a reason. If you've driven a lot of sports cars or supercars, you know just how good this vehicle is. But this is not a normal 911. This is many, many steps above that. So let's figure out how we got here. There are all kinds of models of 911. If I go on the Porsche website right now in 2023, there are 26 different models of this vehicle available to customize. They range from $114,000 base price to nearly $300,000 in base MSRP. But that is very, very deep to get into, and we do not have time for that today, so we are going to focus on the GT3. The 911 GT3 debuted in 1999 in the 996 generation of the car. Porsche said this represented the intersection between road driving and racing, and it was based on the 911 GT3 Cup car. Now, this was a very interesting time for Porsche because they had just moved the 911 from air-cooled to water-cooled for the 996 generation, and that was super controversial. But we do not have time to get into that today, so back to that original GT3. Porsche said it was the first road-legal production car to go less than 8 minutes around the Nürburgring Nordschleife, which is the 13-mile track in Germany where automakers go to battle it out. German rally champion Walter Röhrl was driving. But interestingly enough, that 911 GT3 in 1999 was not road legal in America because the bumpers were too low. In 2003 came the GT3 RS as an even higher trim of the GT3. That RS badge has been around on the 911 since the 1970s as a way to label Porsche's race cars for the road. And that original GT3 RS had 381 horsepower, and it went from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds. The GT3 RS has been a staple of the 911 lineup ever since. That brings us to this car, the 991.2 generation of the GT3 RS. Like I said earlier, this car has 520 horsepower. It comes from a shrieking 4.0 liter naturally aspirated flat six, and it goes to the rear wheels through a 7-speed dual clutch automatic, also known as Porsche's renowned PDK. It's a very, very good transmission. This version of the GT3 RS goes from 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 3 seconds, which is about a second and a half faster than that original car in 2003. And when new, this car cost $188,000. But this one right here has a few extra options. Let's take you around the outside and see what they are. One of the big features on this car is the Weissach package, which is a weight-saving option, and it costs $18,000 when new. Now, I want you to guess how much weight you save for $18,000. I'm giving you a second. Think about it. 13 pounds. You could probably just not eat lunch for a week and end up in the same spot, but you know, it's whatever. How can you tell this car has the Weissach package? Great question. You'll have the exposed carbon fiber hood. You also have the exposed carbon fiber on the giant rear wing, which has Porsche lettering across it. There are also Weissach badges on the dashboard and on the headrest. Now, You might ask, why is this so expensive? Well, there's a ton of exposed carbon fiber here, and exposed carbon fiber has to be perfect. All of the little weaves, there can't be a hair out of place because you can't paint over it. It has to look really, really good. Other things you'll notice on the outside of this car are the Porsche carbon ceramic brakes, these incredible bronze wheels and matching bronze exhaust, and the giant GT3 RS decals, in case anybody still wasn't sure what this car was. That brings me to one of my favorite little fun facts about this car. You'll notice if I put my finger right here and I run it up the hood, it doesn't stop on any big risen metal Porsche logo. In fact, this right here is a sticker, and you're gonna save a ton of weight with this sticker, right? You're gonna go so fast on the racetrack, and I just think it's really cool. As you step into this car, you will notice two things. One, the keys are painted to match the rest of this car, and two, the carbon fiber door sills, they say drive yourself happy on them, which I love and I will be sure to do. There's also so much lizard green in here. You have the lizard green carbon bucket seats, the lizard green seat belts, the lizard green painted vents, the stitching, everything is green in here. It's incredible. The interior is a mixture of leather and the suede-like Alcantara, and under my feet you'll notice that there are carbon floor mats. Another really fun feature I like that we have these door pulls in lizard green. I love it. It's so cool. It's not a regular door handle. It's a cool one. There are carbon fiber accents everywhere in this car. Our little center console here has Porsche imprinted on it. And if you look at the dashboard, we have the Sport Chrono stopwatch, which will let you time yourself and see how fast you are at driving this car. Another feature of Porsches in general is that they have the ignition on the left side of the car. The cute little legend behind this is that back in the day, the Le Mans endurance race had a running start. So drivers would run to their cars and then go. The idea was that if you had the ignition on the left side, you could start the car and get it into gear faster. So I think it would be fun to test this theory. Yeah! The fun thing about this car is that everyone is looking at you, not only because it's a 911 GT3 RS, but because it is bright green. You're not trying to hide from anyone in this. Like when you have other sports cars go by, like a Mustang or something, they'll rev, they'll honk, they'll do whatever to try to get your attention. You're not gonna fly under the radar ever in this car, and that's kind of part of the fun. You get to share in the enthusiasm of this car with other people, whether they know exactly what it is or not. And I think a really fun thing about cars like the GT3 RS is I kind of equate it to a small dog, right? So if you're petting a Chihuahua, you don't really know if this Chihuahua is gonna get mad at you or not, right? There's this little bit of tension there when you're trying to figure out if you're gonna get bitten. And even when you're in the parking lot with this car, like you're just easing onto the throttle, being really careful with it. And there is this sort of tension between you and the car when you're trying to get used to it. And I think that's a really special relationship to build with a car where you don't really know where your limit is. You don't know when this car might snap at you and it might bite you. You're not sure yet, and you have to get used to it. I've only been in this car for like 5 minutes, so I'm not really sure where we're at yet in our relationship, but hopefully we'll figure out a little bit here in a minute. Listen to this thing. I mean, we're going 45 miles per hour, and it's ridiculous. It sounds so good. And I mean, this steering wheel, it's very twitchy. Like it goes exactly where you point it and it goes right away. It is so cool. I love cars like this because even when you're just on the road commuting somewhere, it feels like you're doing something special. It feels like you could be at a track day at any point, because this car is always ready to be at the racetrack. It's always ready to be doing something spectacular, even if you're just on your morning coffee run, doing a normal thing. This is a really cool car. I'm just really geeking out about it right now. And we haven't even gotten to rev it yet. I'm so excited. I mean, this car just does what you tell it to do. And I think the really fun thing about high-end sports cars like this is the more impressive they get and the more expensive they get, the more kind of analog they feel compared to luxury sports cars, right? So there's wind noise in this car. The suspension, you can feel it, like it's harsh, it rattles with the road, but not in a way that's uncomfortable. It rattles with the road in a way that makes you feel like you're performance driving all the time, right? You feel really one with your surroundings in a car like this, and that's really what you pay for. You also have to pay so much closer attention to what you're doing because you have this giant wing out the back. You have all of these things around you, and you don't turn on the turn signal and just have it wail at you, right? You turn on the turn signal and you gotta look over your shoulder and you gotta see if anybody's there, because this car is built for performance. It's not built to just hang out and be super comfortable and take the kids around in, right? But you know, if you have people who are too big to fit in the back seat, because there are little indentions back there, you can just put your bags back there. It's a really nice purse shelf, right? Okay, here we go, ready? I mean, the incredible thing about this car is that when you're just in normal automatic drive mode and you floor it, this car knows what you want to do. Like, it knows your goal. You don't even have to put it in a manual. You don't even have to put it in a manual shifting mode. It's like, oh, okay, they're flooring it. They want to hear me shriek. So it takes it all the way to 9,000, and you almost don't expect it. You almost don't expect it to shift. You expect it to kind of redline because it heads toward 9,000 so fast, which is why I got out of the gas a little bit. I was like, oh no, I don't want to redline it. No, it shifts right at 9,000. It knows what you're after. It is ready to impress you. Oh, what a car. This car knows what it is. It knows what it's for. It knows how to impress you. You cannot go wrong with 911s, and you really cannot go wrong when they are this good. What a stunning car. Oh my goodness. I mean, what more can you ask for? So that is the 2019 Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and it is incredible. Like every other 911, driving it is a reminder of why this car is the easy choice. It is just so good. If you want to learn more about this particular GT3 RS, maybe see some more photos, check out the spec list, or bid on it if you want it, it is now live on Cars and Bids. You can check out the link in the description of this video. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.